Alright, it's our last chance to struggle back to the surface. Don't waste it. So you say the crime could have been committed without entering the hospice, huh? And that Charlie and Damar are responsible. There are so many ways to disprove this theory. Where to begin? Let's start with something basic. Culprit must have been on the roof to attack Montclair. The steel pipe came from the roof and was found there after the fact. But not to mention the blood spatter. That proves irrefutably that he was hit on the roof. The culprit couldn't have reached the rooftop without entering the hospice. Have you any counter-arguments? I barely had an initial argument. I suppose there's no harm in seeing how this plays out. I've been following this trail of breadcrumbs. It's led me to Charlie Klein and Damar Rochelle. And it's also true that neither seems to have any opportunity. Well, did Charlie and Damar attack Montclair or not? And if so, how? Right. I have to decide this right now. Attack Montclair? Is it possible that Damar and Charlie... Is that a trap? And just what is the nature of this trap? I think the answer is it's impossible. There weren't traces of it found at the scene. At least try to hide the fact that you're blindly guessing. Must be on the wrong track. Can't lose focus, not now. Just need to breathe. Breathe. Alright, let's do this again. I don't think they did. Feels like it's impossible. To be honest, I don't think it's possible. However, that doesn't necessarily bury this train of thought. Montclair could have been hit by someone else. Someone else? He's saying there were 3 accomplices? I'm not sure yet, but maybe. And before you ask, the identity of this third person would have to have been Graves. I realize that I've been trying to deny this point for the past however many hours, but... the only person who could have attacked Nathaniel Montclair was Donald Graves. What happened to Graves, then? Why did he fall from the roof? He jumped, I guess. Wait, this is getting confusing. Are you making an argument or just giving up? So all you've done so far is concede the prosecution's theory. True. I have an explanation for this. Using Graves hit Montclair, then tried to commit suicide is... Shield. The answer to this question is simple. Graves was expecting to meet with Shield on the roof that night. But in reality, what he wanted wasn't to meet with Shield, but to take revenge. So when he got to the rooftop and no one was there, he grabbed a pipe and hid around the corner. When Montclair arrived at the rooftop, Graves must have thought he was Shield and attacked. Graves knew Montclair was unwell and couldn't be Shield, so he would have realized his mistake. If he thought he had accidentally killed Montclair, the guilt might have driven him to suicide. That's kind of a hasty reason to kill yourself, isn't it? It's also kind of totally plausible, though, isn't it? That is true, admittedly. Congratulations. But now comes the hard part. How could Charlie and Damar have killed Bishop without entering the hospice? Right, this will be tough, if not impossible. Although I've never tried solving the murder from outside before. Maybe, just maybe, there's a way to make this work. The shooter was definitely on the patient wing roof. That's where the murder weapon was found, after all. Someone must have put it there. If it was from outside, how did it get to the roof? Not only that, but the distance the bullet would have traveled was consistent with the wound. Alright, so basically, need to figure out an alternative position the shooter could have killed Bishop from. Figure out how the weapon could have still ended up on top of the roof. Just do what I've always done. Keep talking until something works out. Alright, we'll do this one step at a time. First, the shooter's location. Fatal bolt could have been shot from... Crossbow Bishop. Crossbow Bishop, you say? The only place that was level with the executive wing roof was the patient wing roof. Well, maybe there was. Like a, really big tree nearby or something. It definitely was not. Alright. Time to stop and think. Heart failure caused by direct ballistic trauma, crossbow bolt. Okay, I think this map kind of makes sense now. It's like the roofs connect on the y-axis, essentially. I think that's what this is getting at. So crossbow going up to there. Entirely uncertain what the answer is here. I can't lose focus, not now. Just breathe, need to breathe. Above, below, across, or impossible. Below. Couldn't the shot have come from below the victim? Take the distance the bolt traveled into account. Is it possible the killer was shot upwards from the ground? I mean, just take a look at the diagram of the executive wing roof. See? Bishop was right next to the edge when the bolt hit him. If he had been looking down over this side of the roof, the killer could have hit his chest from the ground. But why would Bishop have been looking over the edge? More importantly, the culprit's entire plan depended on Bishop looking over that particular edge. That's not something that doesn't make it control. It was random. Was it though? You're saying it wasn't random? It wasn't random. It would have been quite easy for the culprit to make Bishop look down. The culprit could have made Bishop look over the edge by using... vocal? The killer just called Bishop on his cell phone and told him to look down. Almost, Mia, but not quite. Hurricane Seth knocked the power out in basically all of Los Angeles. cell phone towers as well. Bishop wouldn't have had any reception that night. Alright. Sound light. Easy enough to do with a basic flashlight. All the culprit had to do was wave it around like a little, and Bishop would have noticed and investigated. This is not going over well. Okay. Wait, seriously? The timing would have been very tight with the flood and Bishop's arrival, but oh my god. You're telling me I seriously just came with an alternative theory for Bishop's murder? They could have used this like 3 hours ago. Woo! Don't get ahead of yourself, Mia. You still haven't explained how the crossbow ended up on the patient wing rooftop. According to your theory, the culprit had the bow on the ground. It was found on the roof. Ah, yeah. That's a problem. All that means is that I need to keep thinking outside the box. The crossbow was on the ground, and then it was on the roof. There aren't very many methods for moving the bow in this situation. I think I've got a few ideas. Then tell us, how did the culprit move the crossbow from the ground to the rooftop? How to move the crossbow? There must be a way. The culprit could have moved his bow to the patient wing roof if they had. Red herring crossbow. Accomplice on the roof. It's possible for the culprit to move the bow, but not on their own. The culprit had an accomplice who was on the roof. Their options expanded considerably. Someone on the roof tossed a wire down to the ground. The culprit could have attached it to the bow. And the second person could have wheeled up to the rooftop. This theory is plausible. It's already been determined that neither Charlie and Tamara were in the hospice at the time. There's no way this method makes sense. What if there was someone else? A third culprit? Alright. Here we go again. You're about to say that Graves was in on it, right? Well, it couldn't have been. It couldn't have been Montclair. Graves is the only potential accomplice. You were just explaining that Graves went to the hospice to take revenge on Shield. Now all of a sudden, he was there to move the murder weapon. And there's an even bigger problem. This debate began when you were trying to figure out why Tamara lied about seeing Charlie. Your answer because Tamara and Charlie were working together. But there's no role for a third culprit in your theory, just Graves and the shooter. Both she and Charlie must be directly involved, or else Tamara would not have lied. That's right. Furthermore, your reasoning behind Graves' suicide is weakened by your new theory. Correct? You said that he jumped because of the guilt, but he was already assisting in Bishop's murder. It's true. Given the effort that would have gone into obscuring their involvement, they're probably looking to get off scot-free. Can't see another casualty changing that. That being said, Graves was really not in a good position to get away scot-free. In fact, it's almost like he was intended to take the fall. Could Charlie and Tamara have planned his suicide? Is something like that even possible? Could there be another trick here? But how would that even work? Graves fell during the flood, but Charlie and Tamara couldn't have been in the hospice at that point. Yet it's unlikely Graves was pushed by somebody. But if not, what am I left with? We can't keep this farce up forever. Stuff it. But It's true that I'm running out of room to maneuver. Just like before, I'll have to do this in 2 steps. First, I need to figure out my avenue, my theory overall. I can try to nail down specifics after that. Here goes nothing. Is it possible that Graves was pulled somehow? Might have been a method to pull Graves off the roof without the culprit needing to enter the hospice. Setting aside the specifics of this method is a bigger problem. Graves only survived because he fell into the water. In other words, the hospice grounds has to have been flooded when the culprit pulled him off. Unless the culprit could have done this without being on hospice grounds, this theory is impossible. Cheeky. He's focused, not now. Alright. Possible. Okay, that just fills me immediately. He wasn't pulled. He fell from somewhere else. Maybe he didn't fall at all. What in the world makes you think that? Read the report. It says his injuries resulted from a high-velocity, full-body impact. It doesn't specify what the cause of the impact was. Maybe his injuries are from something other than the falling from a patient wing roof. That's absolute nonsense. What of those could possibly have inflicted such dire wounds? Certainly nothing that was available at the hospice that night. This one is pretty hard to swallow, even by my standards. So even anything at the hospice that could have generated that much force. Come on, Mia Fey. Think. Whoa, what? One word, lowercase letters only. Okay, what are we supposed to be going for here? Casualty report. Chest, shoulder, and cranial regions. I'm gonna say car. Wait. Couldn't those wounds have come from being hit by a car? A car. Explain. There isn't anything to explain. I mean exactly what I said. Graves might not have fallen at all. He might have been struck by a moving vehicle. What? There's no way that could be true. It's ridiculous. Which means he left the rooftop normally. Think about it. The shape of the wound was completely different. Do you seriously think that the medical professionals who examined him couldn't tell the difference? Would the wounds really be so different? The man falls 6 stories into water. Maybe his body hits the water as it rotates. Maybe it's a solid, flat impact. Conversely, a man is struck by a moving vehicle. Something big, like a truck or an SUV. Maybe he suffers a direct hit. Maybe he gets run over. He's left there, battered and broken on the pavement until the flood comes in and delivers its punishment. In both cases, the man suffers a bone-crushing impact that could occur in a variety of ways. And in both cases, the exact nature of his wounds would be obscured from being in the flood. Not only is this theory possible, it's just as likely as the prevailing theory. Its foundation is made entirely of guesswork. Maybe there's some leeway with the wounds. Maybe. Graves couldn't have left the hospice after going to the roof. Couldn't he? What was stopping him from simply going back downstairs and out the door? He didn't have to jump. The door was stopping him, obviously. It was locked, remember? How many times does this stupid throwaway theory gotta keep coming back up? As Murdoch pointed out ages ago, Graves would have known where the key to the front door was. First he used this to argue that Graves could have smuggled the crossbow past Winters. Then tomorrow used it to lie about Charlie entering the hospice. Now I'm going to use it to show that Graves could have simply unlocked the door and left. When he did, someone was waiting for him. His assailant slammed on the gas and left him laying half dead in front of the hospice. Well, well. This is actually coming together. Somehow. That's it then. That's my theory. This crime was carried out by Charlie Klein, DeMar Rochelle, and Donald Graves. What if Charlie, or DeMar, shot Bishop from the ground? Graves helped plant the murder weapon on the rooftop. And the culprit that didn't shoot used their vehicle to take Graves out of the picture. This is the truth behind the events of July 17th. Ah, so close, Mia. So close. But you've managed to trip over yourself at the very end. What's that supposed to mean? It means that your two theories are at odds with each other. They contradict. The theory that Bishop was shot from the ground is implausible. It's plausible, but the timing is incredibly tight. But you know the flood hit only a few minutes after Bishop entered the hospice. According to your theory, after one culprit shot Bishop, they had Graves move the crossbow to the roof. Doing so, Graves left the hospice, only to be run over by the second culprit. If your theory is the truth, the flood must have hit very soon after Bishop was killed. Factoring in the time to lift the bow, the water would have risen before Graves could have been run over. And it goes without saying that the culprit couldn't have driven their vehicle through water that deep. The second half of your theory could not have happened out of the first half. It's impossible. That's right. Damn it. Gotta hit myself. Where does that leave me now? That's fairly self-evident. Either one or both of your theories are false. So I've got to choose which half of my logic to abandon. I should have known this would happen. No matter what I choose, I'm going to have to rethink a huge chunk of my theory. Will it be Mia Fey? Here's my decision. Graves was hit by a car. Between the two, it's definitely more likely that Graves was hit by a car. As mentioned, the timing on the first theory was tight to begin with. More importantly, the first theory relies on the second theory to make sense in the big picture. I admit that I no longer have any idea how Kurt Bishop was murdered, but Donald Graves was hit by a car. I'm certain of it. You're certain that you lack any proof whatsoever. I wonder. You take this theory of Graves being struck by a vehicle and fit it back with what we already know. Well, I don't know what I'll find. I've got a feeling. Feeling that the only way forward will appear. You're getting ahead of yourself again. For anything else, you have a very important question to answer. But you're so certain, after all. You ran over Graves, right? Just answer this question, just this one. But the pieces should fall into place as well. It's gotta be Charlie. There are only two possibilities. Charlie and DeMar Rochelle. Well, which one is it? To figure this out, I need to think all the way back to my original question. Why did DeMar lie about seeing Charlie enter the hospice? Ready to answer? I believe so. The person who tried to kill Donald Graves by hitting him with their car vehicle is... Charlie. Oh, fuck, alright. Can't focus, not now. Just immediately denied, not Charlie. Fair enough. Well, it's Damar then. The person who struck Graves and left him hanging out to light by a thread was Damar Rochelle. If Graves was indeed hit by a car, we have to consider how it would fit into our pre-existing knowledge. So we're taking... We assume that Damar attacked Graves, a contradiction arises. Eh? Contradiction? That's the opposite of proof. Not this particular contradiction. Because the existence of this contradiction not only explains Damar's odd behavior from earlier, but also indicates who is really behind Kurt Bishop's death. True killer. Ah, interesting. Then by all means, show us the contradiction. Of course. Just that Damar trying to kill Graves by running him over with contradicts... Charlie? Contradicts Detective Klein's testimony. Yeah. That's it. That sure is it. Finally. I think I finally know what's going on in this case. Now that I know where the truth is hidden, all that's left is to shine a light on it. Huh. I feel kinda... weightless, all of a sudden. Uh-oh. Nope, we're still here. Still us. Oh, finally back to your senses, eh? You were spaced out for quite a while. We were starting to wonder if you'd gone on ahead of us. Got it. Got it. You got what? Damar lying. Calls from Shield. Montclair. Graves. All of it. I know who killed Kurt Bishop. I know how to prove it. Really? Well now. You serious, Mia? You really got something? I do. There's a key element of this case that we've all taken for granted. But if we start to question our understanding, the pieces all fall into place. Well, it's about dang time. Turns out quietly contemplating your imminent demise is a total drag. You can prove your theory? Cool. Show us. Sadly, I don't have any evidence. I know exactly where to find some. Oh, I was waiting for those stupid things to come off. Alright, guess that means it's time for me to get serious, too. Let's put this case to rest. For good. The evidence that proves my theory. I truly believe that Damar is responsible for what happened to Graves. The evidence I need should be located... Damar's house? In order to prove this theory, we need to investigate Damar's house. Excuse me? And specifically, the evidence I'm talking about is your car. Yeah. Have I forgotten something again, or is that as non sequitur as it sounds? No, it is. Elaborate, Miss Faye. This theory is a major departure from our thinking until this point, so I'll start from the beginning. Mara drive to the hospice early, before 11:30, before Donald Graves. Not exactly sure what she was thinking. Maybe she went on only to observe, or maybe not. This is going to be nonsense, isn't it? She hasn't even said anything yet, Damara. I need to be defensive. Either way, she insists the defendant arrive and enter the hospice. She waits. Meanwhile, Graves and Montclair go to the patient wing room. believing him to be Shield, Graves mistakenly clubs Montclair with the steel pipe. So you're finally admitting it, huh? I only wish I knew what he had been thinking. Realizing his error, it's very possible that Graves believed he had just killed an innocent man. So he flees the scene, uses the front door key to leave the hospice and runs to his car. Wait, huh? Mars sees the distraught Graves rush out of the hospice in a panic. Don't quite know what goes through her mind at this point. It's something like, why would Graves be fleeing the meeting with S.H.I.E.L.D. in such a hurry? And perhaps why did Graves go back on our deal? One way or another, Damar realizes that Donald Graves is not to be trusted. The outcome of this realization is the key to this entire case. Using the only tool at her disposal, Damar decides to take action. That's right, Graves' injuries were from falling from the patient-wing rooftop. They were from you, Damar, running him over with your car. What? Hey, I appreciate you trying to get us out of this jam, but I have my private investigator here. Are you seriously trying to say we overlooked goddamn tire tracks all over his body? Murdoch's not so sure that they overlooked it. Not so unthinkable, is it? Damar's car wasn't the only attacker he had that night. Don't forget, after his initial injuries, Graves spent close to an hour in the flood. Okay, yeah, but I mean... No. For once, I think she might actually be onto something. The medical exam Graves underwent was not only cursory, it also occurred after Winters and Volkov had already treated his most dire injuries. I'm not saying B's road rage theory is all that likely, but I also think we can't outright deny the idea either. Regardless, I believe this to be the truth behind the events of July 17th. Well, part of it anyways. And, needless to say, if we took a look at Damar's car, we'd surely find evidence of this occurring, probably in the form of a large grave-shaped dent. If you disagree with me, Damar, then it's all the better that we investigate your vehicle. If you've done nothing wrong, the lack of evidence will completely and immediately vindicate you. It's win-win. Papa, you did. Of course it would be you, wouldn't it, Damar? 5 people wasn't enough, Huh. Hypocrites. A lot of you. Weren't we all just laughing at how my testimony was too good to be true? Too convenient, you said. I fail to see how this is any less of a long shot. That's precisely why I'm suggesting we search your garage. If we find actual evidence, we'll know for certain if this theory is a long shot or not. Sadly, you won't find anything. I don't own a car, after all. Huh? You heard me. I don't own a car. So there's nothing for anyone to investigate. Oh? That's Damar. What? Do you remember our trip to see Nathan last week? When we went to warn him about S.H.I.E.L.D. You kept your distance as always, but I saw it. That big green piece of crap truck you drove. What do they call those things? Hummers? Either way, it suits you. I didn't think it was possible, but your lie just now proves it. Better believe I'll get justice for Kurt. Ooh. Don't get smart with me, fireman. I haven't lied about anything. It's true that until recently I owned that truck, but I happened to have sold it the very next day, and let it go for cheap to a family in need. They insisted on cash. Huh. Who knows where it is now? Talk about way too convenient. Do you seriously expect us to believe that? Then let Zero search my garage. Be my guest. It's not there.
Objection!
Oh, Montclair. But did you say you drove to the hospice in your testimony? And I was lying, Nathan. Keep up. Okay, we're getting nowhere. Zero, please. Let us search for Damar's car. If we find it, I know the evidence will be there. I'm afraid there is no point. Charged with finding S.H.I.E.L.D. This is the first step. This isn't about escape or our lives. Let me investigate or do it yourself, but this needs to happen. Tamara Rochelle is a documented liar. I do not trust her. But there is one part of her story that holds true. There is no vehicle of any sort at her home. What? I kept tabs on her residence in preparation for this trial. I've even been inside. Poppet does not own a car. Or if she does, I do not know where she has hidden it. And there you have it. Damn it all. Is this it? Mia, I don't care how you do it. If you can keep this trial alive, you got my full support. It's a question, isn't it? If Tamara still has the truck, even if she did hit Graves, even if there isn't evidence of it. No. This is dead end. The only way I'm going to be able to prove that Tamara attacked Graves is if I get her to confess. The only way I can do that is if I can convince her that confessing is in her best interest. Tamara, please, I need you to work with me. I know you're not the murderer, and I know you're not S.H.I.E.L.D., but you know who is, don't you? So do I. We can't corner them unless you come clean. Uh-huh. Oh. No one here cares if you put Donald Graves in the hospital. Well, that's the same thing. S.H.I.E.L.D., please. You confess. We have a real shot at this. We can bring everything into the light. You haven't actually denied anything yet, for the record. Did you try to kill Donald Graves, Miss Rochelle? Obviously not. What she's saying is ludicrous. Even if it could lead to uncovering the identity of the true killer? Of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Says who? You? Well, since you seem to have it all figured out, you should have no trouble solving the case without me. I haven't done anything. Leave me out of this. Tomorrow, a decent lawyer, you're looking at a vehicular assault charge at worst. The alternative is death. Please. I did not hit Donald Graves. Reach her. Think. Is there any way I can get through to her? Yeah, I don't think you can convince anyone to admit to attempted murder with pleas. Wait, so she attacked the defendant, but she isn't the killer? I'm leaning towards elaborate bluff myself. Good, come on. This isn't a difficult decision. Just think about what you stand to lose. This woman's just dead set on doing things her way. No. Even back then, she wasn't the type to listen to logical appeal. To be honest, it's probably impossible to persuade her. But maybe, if I dig deep enough, all the way down to the person she used to be, then maybe I can provoke her. Oh. Never felt like I was any good at being the good guy anyway. Better time to turn up the heat than right now. It appears that we have reached yet another dead end. It's unfortunate, but... Okay, so first of all, I wasn't even done explaining my theory, so be quiet. And second of all... Congratulations, Tamara. Oh? You're right. I can't prove jack at all. You did it. You win. Relax, take a seat. You've earned it. Heck, you might even get to go home and hotbox all day or whatever the hell it is you do in your spare time. I can't. I can't walk away from this. Do you want to know why? Because I'm pissed. I'm pissed because S.H.I.E.L.D's killed 6 people now. I'm pissed because he's ruined every life he's touched. I'm pissed that after 5 years we barely have any answers. I'm pissed that he's gotten away with all of it. I'm starting to feel like I'm the only one who's angry enough to do anything about it. Hell yeah, preach it to him, Mia. We're only just getting started. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on, but y'all had better get ready. Here comes Mia. Tomorrow, Rochelle. You may not be able to prove it, but I know you attacked Donald Graves. I know you didn't attack him for no reason. You're also unsatisfied with the way things have turned out, aren't you? You don't know a thing about me. Bullshit! I know everything there is to know about you. You're nothing. Empty. Zero. You're a shell of a woman and you all but told me as much yourself. You? Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to get revenge for you. I'm going to get revenge for you and everyone here. I'm going to get revenge for those who died 5 years ago. I'm going to tear Shield out of his god complex and make him pay for what he's done. And you can sit there and watch. I'm done trying to get you to stand up for yourself. Okay, that turned into legit venting at some point. I sure hope that went alright. Can't back down now. Listen up. Tomorrow Rochelle is not behind the murder of Detective Kirk Bishop, and neither is she Shield. The true culprit is someone else. You have our full attention, Miss Gray. I dare say this little trip has been worth it. I was hoping to get some evidence before this part, but I've done all I can. Start at the top, and we'll make this official. The culprit who attacked Nathaniel Montclair with the steel pipe was Donald Graves. One behind Donald Graves' life-threatening injuries is... Okay, tomorrow. The true killer, the person responsible for the murder of Detective Kurt Bishop is... Bruh. Okay, bruh. You, Charlie Klein. Okay. What? Me? Oh, you gotta be again? How many times are we gonna have to do this, huh? I'm not the murderer, goddammit. Come on, man. Me, of all people. Logic is pretty simple, actually. Tamara tried to kill Graves. You were allegedly keeping an eye on the grounds that night. In other words, you should have seen this attempted murder. But you didn't, did you? Okay, alright. Tamara noticed this. She knew you were hiding something and tried to get the rest of us to suspect you. The reason she told that absurd story earlier was because she didn't want to own up to her own actions. Is that about right, Tamara? Okay, that actually comes together. I was just about to raise an objection over how that was starting to get a little ridiculous, but this actually coming together. You couldn't have missed something so obvious, Detective, and yet you did. You can't possibly back out now and claim you weren't actually at the hospice. So it remains. You, Charlie Klein. We're not watching from the parking lot. You went inside, didn't you? Like hell I did. I mean, sure, your logic checks out somewhat. That's only if Tamara actually hit Graves. I'm pretty sure that didn't happen. Huh. Where's all that confidence you had a minute ago, fireman? Hey, I didn't know she was gonna flip it on me, alright? It sounded good on paper, but I didn't think it through all the way. My bad. Thought you were going to get justice for your murdered friend or some nonsense. Charlie, I'm going to give you the exact same pitch I gave to Tamara. Our goal is to find Shield, not Kurt Bishop's murderer. Come clean. Tell us what you know. okay, I can only sit around and be insulted for so long. You don't have a single reason to suspect me of murder, and that's a fact. You said your logic checks out somewhat, Mia. I was talking about me not seeing Damar. Even if it were true that Damar hit Graves, how does that incriminate me? Did you forget? There's no way for me to get into the hospice, so I can't be the killer. Kurt and I were also friends. Something tells me that isn't enough to convince you. As Damar suggested earlier, Graves could have let you in through the front door. According to you, Damar would have seen that happen. If she had legitimately seen me do something suspicious, she would have spoken up sooner. Considering she's already admitted to lying about exactly that, I doubt she saw anything. So, no. I had no way into the hospice. Crap! He's right. Right. Just need to breathe. Come this far. You can do this. Not going to roll over that easy. There's definitely a way for you to enter the hospice, Charlie. It's a tough claim to make, Mia. Your options are pretty slim. There's the front door, of course. No one entered before Graves, and no one entered after the flood. There's also the back door, but it's actually even less likely. Motion-activated security camera only went off once that night. That was Bishop. And there's Mystery Door X, which is the option I personally hope you pick. Look, I get it, Mia. Things are looking pretty grim. Throwing Damar and I under the bus in desperation isn't going to help anything. You don't think I'm serious about this? That? Or you're just flat out wrong. Now let's put this theory to the test. You know this way. Pass to me. You can enter the hospice, Charlie. You did by using... I'm gonna say the back door. Going with the back door, eh? But how do you avoid triggering the security camera? For the record, the camera triggers if it detects movement in the vicinity of the door. It is also set to trigger if the door is open at all. There's really not a lot of leeway here. But Charlie dodged the motion-activated camera, maybe... Okay, we can go back, so this is a thought tree here. He didn't. How did Charlie circumvent the security camera? The answer is simple. He didn't. How do you figure? The actual footage taken by the security camera was destroyed, wasn't it? So in reality, we have no idea who triggered the camera that night. Objection! Quit screwing around, Mia. I wasn't Bishop at 1211, then how did he get into the hospice? Suppose I worded that poorly. What I'm getting at here is... We don't know how many people entered the hospice at 1211. In other words, you and the victim entered the hospice together, Charlie. And there's no issue here.
Objection!
No, there's still quite a few problems here, actually. Getting in is only half the question. I still need to get out. Obviously, I couldn't have left through the back door because the sensor only triggered once. Is that true, Murdoch? It sure is. There was a register at 6:07 p.m., which was confirmed to have been Nurse Volkov. And then the next register was the one at 12:11. Followed by nothing until a bunch of registers around 6:45 a.m. the next morning. These are basically confirmed to have been Winters and Volkov as well. The flood had mostly receded, so we could actually go outside again. Long story short, even if I had followed Kurt in, I had no way to get back out. Of course, there's an even bigger problem here. We entered the hospice at 12:11, which just so happened to be right before the flood hit. In other words, there was no way anyone could have left the hospice, even if a way out actually existed. So basically, not only is there no method for Charlie to have left the hospice, there's no window of time for him to have left either. So in essence, I'm just boned. Looks like my only option here is to keep thinking outside the box. Being pretty quiet over there, Mia. Don't tell me you've run out of gas already. Not a chance. It's definitely still possible for Charlie to be the murderer. Couldn't Charlie have... escaped via the roof, fooled the sensor, and left the next morning? Murdoch, you said the camera registers from the next morning basically be confirmed. I mean, it's possible for one of those registers to have not been Winters or Volkov. Sure, I suppose. Neither Winters nor Volkov were sure how many times they went within the sensor. If you're saying the culprit waited until morning to make their escape, then you've got a much bigger problem. Doesn't she, Winters? If somebody were hiding in the hospice, Dimitri and I would have found them. I know we've mostly focused on the patient wing up until now. We ended up searching the executive wing too when we were looking for Nathan. The idea that somebody hid in the hospice has been brought up a few times, but hasn't gone anywhere. So unless you have hard evidence to the contrary, there wasn't any place someone could hide. This point is beyond question that Winters and Volkov looked everywhere in the patient wing. Possible that they didn't search the executive wing completely? We can go back still, but let's present evidence. Why not? There's nowhere to hide. Doesn't this piece of evidence say otherwise? A piece of evidence? Are you sure about that? Mostly? Well, not really, then. Must be a way. Escape by the roof? Alright, so we are going to roll back here. Fool the sensor. Friendly reminder. Camera is rigged to go off if it detects movement or if the door opens. The only time the door was open that night was 12:11 a.m. That pretty much sums it up. Unless we got some concrete evidence, I don't see how this would have been possible. Charlie could have fooled the motion sensor. Well, why not? Let's present evidence. Go back. Escape by the roof. By the roof. The hospice technically has 2 other exits, the doors to each roof. There's a method to get down from there safely. Method like what? The patient wing is 6 stories tall, and the executive wing is 7. The couple could have used some sort of tool, like a rope or a parachute or something. Rope or a parachute? Yeah, you know I'd be all for shenanigans like the murderer rappelling down from the scene. The torrential rain and hurricane-force winds demand we temper our reasoning. Now, if you're sure, then okay, but we're gonna need to see some evidence first. I'm in fact not confident. We need to prove something here. I don't know what. So the victim's corpse wasn't found until 7 a.m., so maybe it was at the timeline here. What's that evidence? Hold on. Robert couldn't have been hiding because the nurses would have found them. It's not entirely true. The nurses had actually looked everywhere in the hospice. Why did it take them until 7 a.m. to find Bishop's body? You're not saying. That's right. The killer had hidden themselves on the executive wing rooftop. They could have simply left the hospice in the morning.
Objection!
Alright, Mia. Alright. Only got one question. You sure about this? I start doubting myself now. There's probably no coming back. For better or for worse, this is the only way forward. Yes, absolutely. Just to be clear, you're basing this on intuition, right? I mean, it's possible that I actually entered the hospice with Kurt and left the next morning. It's possible that Tamara was actually at the hospice that night and hit Graves for some reason. Just like it's possible for a clover to have 4 leaves, right? Let's apply Occam's razor a little. Despite everything, we have no less reason to suspect Donald Graves than we did to begin with. On the other hand, your reason for suspecting me is that Tamara did something bad, maybe. Hey, Tamara. You hit Graves? Sounds to me like she didn't hit Graves. And, we already know you don't have any evidence. Don't get me wrong. That was a hell of a speech you gave earlier. Just because an argument is louder doesn't mean it's better. It's obvious you're standing on uneven ground, Mia. You don't even have an inkling of a motive either, I bet. But you were the person closest to the victim. You may not have evidence of a motive, but if there was anyone with reason to kill, it would be you. And that is exactly my point. Why do you think so many cops immediately suspect the spouse when someone gets off? It's an easy answer to a complicated question. That's all this is, Mia. That's all you're doing. You talk big, but deep down you don't really believe you can find the truth, do you? That's why you're scapegoating me. The person who's probably the killer if I had to pick one. I don't think you can pull this rookie up crap on me and get away with it. We're not dealing with a marriage dispute here, Charlie. We're dealing with Shield. If she wasn't killed over some minor grudge, there's a much deeper reason. A deeper reason. Mia, I owe Kurt Bishop my life. Everything I am today because he believed in me. You're the only one who's pissed. Don't make me laugh. You have no idea how furious I am. It's my job to keep a cool head. So I will. I'll play this game for as long as you want. This guy's looking way too composed for my liking. There's gotta be some way to knock him off balance. Wow, nice line, tough guy. You practiced that one? Uh-huh. I fluff my fly with everyone else, but it ain't enough for me. Come again? I'm saying you're full of crap, Chuck. Oh, but I owe him my life. That's cute, bro. You're really tugging at my heartstrings. No one asked you. Reality check, though. Who survived Shield's room and board? Fact is, you're in this just as deep as the rest of us. Who knows what kind of hang-ups you got over that? Even if I had any hang-ups, they'd be none of your business. See? I'm not so sure. I mean, just take a look around. How many people here are claiming to be on some loony vigilante hunt for Shield? Literally 4 of us. And how about your compadres, huh? We all agree that Graves at least tried to kill someone. Heck, depending on who you ask, Tamara's in the same boat, ain't she? And your boy Montclair is so damn tortured he lives with one foot in proverbial purgatory. Then we have you, Mr. Owen doesn't bother me, I'm a detective now and everything's great Klein. hell's up with you? What is your permanent psychological damage, huh? You see where I'm going with this? Of course that's what this all boils to. What, am I not broken enough by your standards? I'm sure that's not what he means. No, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he means. I didn't jump off a 6-story building, and I didn't drink my way into 24/7 medical care. I didn't hold myself up with my demons. I don't have a crazy vendetta either. I just want to live my damn life, so I must be the murderer, right? You're seriously shaming me for rising to the challenge instead of turning my back on the world. You really think you're better than everyone else, huh? You don't? I spent the last 5 years of my life trying to justify it. Forcing it to not have all been for nothing. Sorry, but different people deal with trauma in different ways. Holding myself to the highest possible standard is mine. No offense intended. Fireman, Perhaps I'm not one to talk, but you do not need to carry a weight like that. You can either carry the weight given to me, or one I give myself. Do you remember Roland's journal, Nathan? The one he gave you. I remember. Its words have stayed with me more than anything else. So it's not enough to just live half-assed. I have to stand proud, not just for me, but for them too. Go back to the beginning. What? Tomorrow? There are no dead men living vicariously through you, Charlie. And if there were, it'd be kinda fucked up. There aren't any more. Tomorrow? When I stepped out of that bunker 5 years ago, I thought I had won. But I hadn't. I'd lost. It took me years to realize it. I've heard enough. Charlie, I'm going to show you a bigger kindness than you deserve. Bigger than any of us deserve. What? I give up. I resign. I tried to kill Donald Graves 5 days ago at Jameson Memorial. Ooh! It is as much as I want to believe that Charlie is really better and living better, that he's kind of full of shit too. In lieu of my utter surprise, can I ask what made you change your mind? You may not believe me, but I've actually been rather on edge this week. Ever since Shield called. Overzealous would probably be a better way to put it. Suppose I slipped back into the mindset I had 5 years ago. I was finally being challenged again. There was risk and consequence. Maybe. But I was just reminded of how little I actually stand to lose. I've been lying to myself. I've got so few chips at the table, I may as well go all in, right? Since we're all in agreement that this is a shocking development indeed. Why don't you go ahead and give us the details of your ability, Miss Rochelle? Why bother? It's all been laid out pretty clearly. Does that mean that you were right on all accounts? More or less. I believe this marks the 3rd time you've had me completely figured out, Mia. I must not be as sharp as I think I am. Still, you've got my respect. Tomorrow? Why would you try to kill Don? I realize we've had our differences, but that's all behind years of the past. Given the circumstances, it wasn't unreasonable to assume that Graves was Shield. And that's your one misstep, Mia. It never once crossed my mind that he might be Shield. What? Then why? Because the past had come calling, and I had answered. Out of the blue, Shield was back in my life. So were the other 3. So was everything. When I saw Graves at the hospice that night, he was alone and vulnerable. Wow. Can't believe I'm saying this, but you killed him as a trauma response, almost. And then I thought, Huh. I thought, just like the good old days. And then I crushed him against the pavement. Jesus. Girl, you need help. I suppose it was a decision of strategic merit. Rage was a wild card in the last game. And he certainly has no love for me, so I don't know. It just felt like the logical move. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. I have no idea. I really am delusional. It really took me until just now to realize there was no new game. I've been playing all by myself. This whole time, I've been trying to figure out if Zero was in on it. And this was just another facet. But it was all you, wasn't it, Charlie? It was always you. You rat. Glad that you're finally opening up tomorrow. But I still haven't heard a single reason to suspect me. You submitted to trying to kill Graves, which you should have seen. Dance around it all you want, but that's decisive testimony.
Objection!
Decisive? What's decisive about self-serving testimony from the most notorious liar in the room? Think about it. The theory douses a suspicion on Damar, roasts his killer, and satisfies Zero. In what situation would Damar not be playing along with you? Face it, this testimony isn't decisive, it's obligatory. Damar, do you have any evidence that can prove you were Graves' assailant? Huh. I'm far too careful for that. The only evidence that can prove anything is the truck itself. I wasn't lying when I said I sold it. See? The word means nothing.
Objection!
It's true that Damar has been less than forthcoming thus far. However, actions make sense when viewed from her perspective, as I've already said. And you're wrong. Her actions don't make sense. I said it once before. Damar is a survivor. Nothing's off the table in pursuit of self-preservation. Damar hit Graves and suspected I was lying, like you said she had. She would have come forward earlier, and of her own volition. The price of failing Zero is death. As you yourself said, Mia, the price of attempted murder is, well, comparatively minor. Basically, I object to this entire stupid situation. How very logical of you, Charlie. But you missed something. Zero has no intention of killing anyone. What? Damar, he shot you. Let me ask this then. How long has it been since his 15-minute warning? Good point. How long? Well, it's been... Feels like that was quite a while ago now, doesn't it? Let me ask another question. How long have we been at this? Oh, son of a... I may not have made any amiable qualities, but I have a damn good internal clock. It's been almost 3 hours. Wow. Nearly twice our supposed 90-minute time limit. You've got to be kidding me. We have been at this for a while, now that she brings it up. If Zero intended to kill us, he would have done it ages ago. Not that I think he had the guts in the first place. The initial time limit was merely to motivate you. I admit that I had no intention of stopping the trial there. Rather, proceedings will continue until I can no longer keep this gambit of mine a secret. If someone happens by the courthouse or some other divergence occurs, I will cut my losses. Agree to disagree then. Either way, I think Zero's harmless, which is why I felt no need to speak up earlier. Give me a break! That solves that, then. That makes logical sense in Damara's sense. Charlie Klein, do you understand your position? I didn't kill Kurt. I didn't. How could I? My partner. My only friend. It should be some kind of monster to do something like that. Hey, detective. Word of advice. Taking the moral high ground here is only gonna make things more difficult for you. You too, huh? Look, I think I've got a pretty good idea about what's been going on in this courthouse. If I'm right, you're screwed. Honestly, it's in your best interest just to give up now. I didn't kill Kurt. I can still prove it. How can you now? My. Yeah, I think we're due for another testimony right about now. What do you say, Mia? I'd be happy to show the detective the fault in his reasoning. Miss Fay, I advise that you make your accusation stick this time. And as for you, fireman, if you are indeed innocent, I expect you to prove it resolutely. I can and I will. It doesn't matter what Tamara did or didn't do. It's impossible for me to be the murderer. Ooh, baby. So that episode was a lot to take. No opportunity, no crime. We'll cross this bridge next time. That rhymed. Hell yeah.